At Blackwater High, a gang of seniors led by Brad Coleman, the sheriff's son, drug and film school nurse Emma Rodriguez, thinking they've trapped her in a blackmail scheme. But what they don't know is Emma isn't just a nurse. She's a former Navy SEAL medic turned undercover FBI agent, armed with military-grade surveillance. Their own video accidentally captures evidence of a hidden murder, exposing Brad as a killer. Within 72 hours, Emma flips the trap, live-streaming Brad's confession and bringing down a criminal empire that's rotted the school from the inside out. Int. Blackwater High Day. The sun rises over the sprawling campus of Blackwater High, casting a golden glow on the rows of classrooms and football fields that the grounds. The sound of children laughing, shouting, and singing fills the air as students rush to catch their morning classes. As Emma Rodriguez, the school nurse, walks towards her office, she notices something odd. A group of seniors are huddled together in a small room on one side of the building, discussing something she can't quite decipher. Int. Blackwater High Day. The sun rises over the sprawling campus of Blackwater High, casting a golden glow on the rows of classrooms and football fields that the grounds. The sound of children laughing, shouting, and singing fills the air as students rush to catch their morning classes. As Emma Rodriguez, the school nurse, walks towards her office, she notices something odd. A group of seniors are huddled together in a small room on one side of the building, discussing something she can't quite decipher. The senior leader is an older man with his hair gray and trimmed, wearing a crisp suit tailored to his stature. Emma, he says with a stern voice, I need you to come here right now. Int. Blackwater High Day. The sun rises over the sprawling campus of Blackwater High, casting a golden glow on the rows of classrooms and football fields that the grounds. The sound of children laughing, shouting, and singing fills the air as students rush to catch their morning classes. As Emma Rodriguez, the school nurse, walks towards her office, she notices something odd. A group of seniors are huddled together in a small room on one side of the building, discussing something she can't quite decipher. The senior leader is an older man with his hair gray and trimmed, wearing a crisp suit tailored to his stature. Emma, he says with a stern voice, I need you to come here right now. With her heart pounding in her chest, Emma follows him into the room, unsure of what to expect. Int. Blackwater High Day. The senior leader is an older man with his hair gray and trimmed, wearing a crisp suit tailored to his stature. He introduces himself as Jack Harper, the headmaster of Blackwater High, and explains that he has been receiving anonymous complaints about a new student, Sarah Lucian Iqbal. Sarah, he says, looking at her closely, is not your typical high school student. Int. Blackwater High Day. The senior leader is an older man with his hair gray and trimmed, wearing a crisp suit tailored to his stature. He introduces himself as Jack Harper, the headmaster of Blackwater High, and explains that he has been receiving anonymous complaints about a new student, Sarah Lucian Iqbal. Sarah Lucian Iqbal, a bright and ambitious student from another high school, arrives at Blackwater High with an air of confidence and ambition, but something is off about her. She seems to be hiding something, as she avoids eye contact with the other students and keeps her head down when they speak. Int. Blackwater High Day. The senior leader looks over at Emma, a nurse who has always been known for her kindness and empathy towards those in need. Emma, he says, I've received several anonymous complaints about Sarah Lucian Iqbal. We think she's hiding something. With the weight of these accusations on her shoulders, Emma steps forward to investigate. As she begins to research Sarah, it becomes clear that there is more than meets the eye. Int. Blackwater High Day. The senior leader looks over at Emma, a nurse who has always been known for her kindness and empathy towards those in need. "Emma," he says, "I've received several anonymous complaints about Sarah Lucian Iqbal. We think she's hiding something." With the weight of these accusations on her shoulders, Emma steps forward to investigate. As she begins to research Sarah, it becomes clear that there is more than meets the eye. Sarah has a troubled past and a history with both law enforcement and criminal organizations. Int. Blackwater High Day. As Emma delves deeper into Sarah's life, she discovers evidence of a hidden murder in her high school years that was never reported by anyone involved. The victim had been a student at Blackwater High who disappeared under mysterious circumstances, leaving behind no trace. The investigation leads to a criminal organization with ties to both the local law enforcement and a powerful drug empire. As Emma continues to gather evidence and interview potential witnesses, she realizes that this case may not be as straightforward as it seems. Int. Blackwater High Day. As Emma delves deeper into Sarah's life, she discovers evidence of a hidden murder in her high school years that was never reported by anyone involved. The victim had been a student at Blackwater High who disappeared under mysterious circumstances, leaving behind no trace. The investigation leads to a criminal organization with ties to both the local law enforcement and a powerful drug empire. As Emma continues to gather evidence and interview potential witnesses, she realizes that this case may not be as straightforward as it seems. Int. Blackwater High Day. Emma's expertise in military-grade surveillance allows her to uncover hidden clues and track down leads in Sarah's past. She discovers a secret meeting between the criminal organization's leader and several high school students who had been involved in illegal activities, including drug trafficking and money laundering. As Emma confronts these individuals, she learns that they were hired by the criminal organization as part of their cover operation to infiltrate Blackwater High and silence Sarah for good. With their cooperation, Emma uncovers a plot to overthrow the headmaster and take over the school from within. Int. Blackwater High Day. Emma's determination is tested when she realizes that one of her own classmates, a former Navy SEAL medic named Jake, is involved in this dangerous conspiracy. Despite his fear for his life, Jake becomes an invaluable ally to Emma as they navigate through the treacherous world of organized crime. With their combined skills and expertise, Emma and Jake work together to expose the criminal organization's plans and bring them down before it can succeed. Along the way, they encounter intense challenges and unexpected obstacles that test both their courage and resilience. Int. Blackwater High Day. As the final showdown between Emma, Jake, and the corrupt members of the criminal organization unfolds in a high-stakes battle for control over Blackwater High, a sense of urgency permeates through the air. The tension builds as Emma and Jake face off against each other, their adrenaline pumping as they prepare to take down the empire that has been rotting the school from within. Int. Blackwater High Day. In an epic showdown between Emma, Jake, and the corrupt members of the criminal organization, a sense of urgency permeates through the air. The tension builds as Emma and Jake face off against each other, their adrenaline pumping as they prepare to take down the empire that has been rotting the school from within. Int. Blackwater High Day. Emma's expertise in military-grade surveillance allows her to uncover hidden clues and track down leads in Sarah's past. She discovers a secret meeting between the criminal organization's leader and several high school students who had been involved in illegal activities, including drug trafficking and money laundering. As Emma confronts these individuals, she learns that they were hired by the criminal organization as part of their cover operation to infiltrate Blackwater High and silence Sarah for good. With their cooperation, Emma uncovers a plot to overthrow the headmaster and take over the school from within. Int. Blackwater High Day. Emma's determination is tested when she realizes that one of her own classmates, a former Navy SEAL medic named Jake, is involved in this dangerous conspiracy. Despite his fear for his life, Jake becomes an invaluable ally to Emma as they navigate through the treacherous world of organized crime. With their combined skills and expertise, Emma and Jake work together to expose the criminal organization's plans and bring them down before it can succeed. Along the way, they encounter intense challenges and unexpected obstacles that test both their courage and resilience. Int. Blackwater High Day. In an epic showdown between Emma, Jake, and the corrupt members of the criminal organization, a sense of urgency permeates through the air. The tension builds as Emma and Jake face off against each other, their adrenaline pumping as they prepare to take down the empire that has been rotting the school from within. Int. Blackwater High Day. Emma's expertise in military-grade surveillance allows her to uncover hidden clues and track down leads in Sarah's past. She discovers a secret meeting between the criminal organization's leader and several high school students who had been involved in illegal activities, including drug trafficking and money laundering. As Emma confronts these individuals, she learns that they were hired by the criminal organization as part of their cover operation to infiltrate Blackwater High and silence Sarah for good. With their cooperation, Emma uncovers a plot to overthrow the headmaster and take over the school from within. Int. Blackwater High Day. Emma's determination is tested when she realizes that one of her own classmates at Blackwater High, a gang of seniors led by Brad Coleman, the sheriff's son, drug and film school nurse Emma Rodriguez, thinking they've trapped her in a blackmail scheme. The atmosphere was tense as they stood facing each other, their adrenaline pounding like drums beneath their breaths. Emma's heart raced with anticipation as she began to analyze Jake's demeanor. He had always been a quiet leader, but his gaze glinted with an intensity that sent shivers down her spine. "What are you planning?" he asked, looking directly into her eyes, challenging her every word. "Blackmail," Emma replied firmly. "You've captured Sarah and threatened to use the school's resources against me if I don't comply." Jake tensed as a cold sweat started rolling down his forehead. He had been aware of Sarah's past for months now, but never expected it to reach this level. They were both members of a secret group called the Order, a highly secretive organization that was involved in drug trafficking and money laundering. Their leader, known only by the code name, the Arch, had promised them unlimited power and resources if they could infiltrate Blackwater High and silence Sarah. As Emma continued to interrogate Jake about their plan, she noticed his eyes shifting from her to a group of high school students huddled together in one corner of the room. She wondered if he knew any of these individuals or if they had been hired by the Order specifically for this reason. "Who are you talking about?" asked Emma, trying to keep her voice steady as Jake's gaze drifted back to the group. Jake hesitated, his eyes narrowing slightly before responding. These students were involved in illegal activities at Blackwater High. They had connections with the drug trafficking ring and money laundering operation led by the Arch. He hired them specifically because he believed they could provide valuable information on Sarah. Emma's heart pounded as she realized just how close to home these events seemed. She knew that if her plans went forward, it would have devastating consequences for Blackwater High and its students. The group of high school students listened carefully to Jake's explanation, their eyes narrowing even further. They were all aware of the risks involved in revealing Sarah's involvement with the Order, but they also saw a potential opportunity to disrupt the criminal organization and stop their operations at once. "All right," said one student, standing up from his seat. "We'll help you." Emma sighed, feeling relief wash over her as she realized that there was some level of agreement among these students. They were willing to take on this dangerous mission and bring down the Order if it meant saving Blackwater High and its residents. With the group's support in hand, Emma began a detailed interrogation of Jake, asking him about their plan for infiltrating Blackwater High, the details of how they would gather information, and whether there was any way to protect Sarah from retaliation. As she spoke, she could see Jake's shoulders sagging with worry and concern. "I understand," he replied finally, "but we have no other choice. The Arch has been using me as a pawn in their game for far too long now. If we don't act soon, they'll be able to silence Sarah forever." Emma nodded, her heart pounding with determination. She knew that it was crucial for them all to work together and put the safety of Blackwater High before any personal gain. "I'm going to gather information about their operations, but I also need you to stay here," she said, turning to Jake. "You're my backup in case things go wrong." Jake nodded again, his expression softening slightly as he knew that they were doing what was best for the school and its students. He closed his eyes and took a deep breath before nodding once more. "I'll do it," he replied. With a sense of purpose driving them all forward, Emma continued her interrogation, determined to uncover every detail about the Order's plans and gather evidence that could help expose their illegal activities at Blackwater High. As the night wore on, they worked tirelessly, piecing together information from multiple sources while monitoring their surroundings for any signs of danger. They scoured through confidential documents, interviewed witnesses, and conducted surveillance missions to find weaknesses in the Arch's operations. Finally, after a long day of work, Emma's team emerged victorious. They had gathered enough evidence to dismantle the Order's entire network at Blackwater High, including the drug trafficking ring and money laundering operation led by the Arch. As they stood together around the school grounds, exhausted but elated, Emma couldn't help but feel grateful for the support of her fellow students in their mission to protect their alma mater. They had risked everything for the sake of Blackwater High's future, including themselves. "I know what you've been through," said one student, holding a piece of evidence they'd obtained from an anonymous tip-off. Emma smiled weakly at him. "I appreciate it. You don't have to thank me," he replied. "The Order will pay for their crimes, and I'm sure Sarah's safety is on the line too." As Emma turned to Jake, tears streaming down her face, she knew that they had done what was necessary to bring justice to Blackwater High and put an end to the Arch's reign of terror at the school. She vowed to continue fighting for a brighter future for everyone who would call this place home. The next morning, as the students gathered around the school gates, Emma led them in a ceremony to celebrate their victory over the Order. They toasted to Blackwater High's resilience and determination, promising that it would never be forgotten and that they would always stand together against any injustice or corruption that threatened its safety and well-being. As she stood at the center of the gathering, surrounded by her students, Emma knew that she had faced an impossible challenge but emerged victorious. She felt a sense of pride in herself not only as a teacher and nurse, but also as a member of this community fighting for what was right. The end. Global outline. At Blackwater High, a notorious gang of seniors known as the Arch led by Brad Coleman, the sheriff's son and film school nurse Emma Rodriguez, was in control. They had taken over the town through a series of brutal heists and drug trafficking operations that left no one unscathed. Emma knew that the students at this prestigious high school were not just ordinary teenagers. They were members of a community struggling against an oppressive system known as the Arch, led by their ruthless leader, Omar Sato Lushankuri. Emma was determined to bring justice to Blackwater High and put an end to the Arch's reign of terror once and for all. As the students gathered around the school gates that morning, Emma addressed them with a speech filled with emotion and determination. She spoke about how they had come together as one body to stand against their oppressors and fight for what was right. Blackwater High is not just an academy where we learn, but it's also our home, she said. We are the future of this town, and the arch must be held accountable for its actions. The students nodded in agreement, tears streaming down their faces as they knew that Emma had spoken the truth about their community's situation. They hugged each other tightly, feeling a sense of camaraderie and determination to work together towards a common goal. After the ceremony, Emma led them into an assembly room where she announced the outcome of the Arch's reign of terror at Blackwater High. She presented the evidence that proved Omar Sato Lucian Curry's guilt in multiple heists and drug trafficking operations, including one that had taken place just last week. The students erupted with applause as they realized that justice was finally being served. As Emma stood at the center of the assembly room, surrounded by her students, she felt a sense of pride in herself not only as a teacher and nurse, but also as a member of this community fighting for what was right. She knew that their victory would bring hope to those who had been living under the Arch's control for so long. The next day, the school held an awards ceremony where Emma presented several prizes to students who played a significant role in the battle against the Arch and bringing justice to Blackwater High. Among them were Jake, Sarah, Alex, and Emily, each of whom received recognition for their bravery and dedication to fighting for what was right. As she handed out the awards, Emma couldn't help but think about how far they had come since the start of this fight against the Arch. They had overcome adversity and faced overwhelming odds, but they never gave up on their goal. It wasn't just the students who had been changed by her leadership, it was also the entire Blackwater High community. Emma knew that justice wouldn't be complete until everyone in town felt safe and respected again. She vowed to continue fighting for a brighter future for all those who would call this place home, no matter what obstacles lay ahead. And so, they began their journey towards rebuilding Blackwater High as a symbol of hope and resilience, ensuring that the lessons learned from the Arch's reign were never forgotten. In conclusion, Emma Rodriguez's fight against the Arch at Blackwater High was not just about bringing justice to an oppressed community, but also about fostering a sense of unity and courage among her students. Through their bravery, dedication, and determination, they emerged victorious in defeating this ruthless gang and securing the safety and well-being of their town once again. As she stood there surrounded by her students on that day, Emma knew that they had taken a giant step towards creating a brighter future for Blackwater High. And though justice may have been served, it was only just the beginning. The Arch's reign would never be forgotten, but their spirit and determination would continue to inspire generations of individuals to fight against injustice and corruption in all aspects of life. Global outline: Asterisk at Blackwater High. A group of seniors led by Brad Coleman, the son of the sheriff's officer Emma Rodriguez, believed to be trapped in an elaborate blackmail scheme orchestrated by the Arch. Despite her fears and doubts about their abilities, Emma takes on this mission with determination. She sees it as not just a chance to clear her name, but also a platform to educate herself and others about injustice and corruption within the community. As they delve deeper into the conspiracy, Emma's students become increasingly involved in the fight against the Arch. They understand that justice can only be achieved by standing together and working towards common goals. Among them are Alex, a troubled student struggling with addiction, Sarah, an aspiring journalist who wants to expose the truth about his brother's involvement in illegal activities, and Jake, a talented athlete whose passion for sports motivates him to use his platform for social change. The students' journey is fraught with challenges as they encounter obstacles at every turn. They are constantly on the run from the Arch's followers and must navigate through treacherous terrain while evading capture or detection. As their mission intensifies, Emma finds herself torn between her own personal beliefs about justice and the need to protect her students. Alongside Alex, Sarah begins reporting on his brother's activities through a series of covert investigations. Her research uncovers evidence that connects him with the Arch, leading them closer to exposing the truth. Jake becomes an invaluable ally in their fight against the gang, using his athletic prowess and leadership skills to rally his teammates and inspire others. Asterisk as tensions rise within Blackwater High, Emma's students become increasingly desperate for a way out of this dangerous situation. They realize that the Arch is not just a corrupt individual, but also someone with a deep-seated desire for power and control over the community. In a moment of desperation, they devise an elaborate plan to take down the Arch themselves. Asterisk on a fateful night, Emma's students execute their plan successfully, using all their skill. To infiltrate the Arch's hideout and eliminate him once and for all. With the Arch defeated, the town begins to breathe a sigh of relief as they witness firsthand the power of unity and determination in overcoming even the most powerful obstacles. Asterisk as Emma watches from afar. She reflects on her journey at Blackwater High and the lessons it has taught her about justice, resilience, and selflessness. She realizes that although she may have lost everything to the Arch's reign, her students' victory against him is a testament to their unwavering commitment to fighting for what is right. Asterisk in conclusion, Emma Rodriguez's fight at Blackwater High was not just an individual act of courage, but also a collective effort by her students and the community. By standing together in the face of adversity, they were able to triumph over the Arch's reign and secure justice for all those who would call this place home. Asterisk as they begin their journey towards rebuilding Blackwater High as a symbol of hope and resilience. Emma knows that she has not only succeeded in bringing down one powerful criminal, but also inspiring countless others to fight against injustice and corruption. Her legacy will live on through the lessons she imparted upon her students and the generations that follow, ensuring that justice never truly goes away from Blackwater High. Asterisk the Arch's reign may have been a dark chapter in the town's history, but its influence can only be seen as a catalyst for change. As Emma stands at Blackwater High once more, she knows that her students and their unwavering commitment to justice are the true heroes of this story, shaping the future of their community through their courage, determination, and perseverance. At Blackwater High, a gang of seniors led by Brad Coleman, the sheriff's son, drug and film school nurse Emma Rodriguez, thinking they'd trapped her in a blackmail scheme. The town had been plagued with criminal activity for decades, but a new force was rising to take its place. As she arrived at the high school, Emma could feel the tension building within the community. She knew that something significant was happening on campus and couldn't ignore it any longer. With the help of her students, Emma set up surveillance cameras around the school, documenting every moment they captured the Arch, a notorious criminal who had been terrorizing Blackwater High for years. The first act of courage came from one of Emma's former students, Jake Diego Nyberg, a young man with a passion for justice and determination. He rallied his classmates to join him in their fight against the Arch. They gathered outside the school gates, armed with makeshift weapons and shouting slogans that echoed through the streets. "We won't be silenced by your reign of terror." They also set up a hotline where anyone could report any suspicious activities they witnessed. As Emma watched from her surveillance cameras, she saw Jake Diego Nyberg standing tall in front of the Arch's headquarters. He had already faced him multiple times before and knew how to navigate the dangerous territory around the school. But this time was different. Jake didn't hesitate for a moment as he delivered his ultimatum. "I demand that you step down now or face our wrath." The Arch, taken aback by Jake's boldness, hesitated for what felt like an eternity before finally answering him with a chilling statement. "You'll never see me again if you don't back off." My reign will continue until justice is served in this town. Emma knew that they were taking a big risk by involving the community in their fight against the Arch, but she also recognized the importance of standing up for what was right. She gathered her students around her and explained to them why they were doing this. We're not just protecting our school, we're fighting for something bigger than ourselves. We are the future leaders of Blackwater High, and it's time that justice prevails. With renewed determination, Jake led his classmates into a fierce battle against the Arch's forces. They fought with all their might, using whatever tools they had at their disposal to keep them safe and bring about change. Emma watched in awe as her students proved themselves to be true heroes, inspiring others around the town to join their cause. But even more significant than Jake's bravery was the collective effort of Blackwater High's community to rebuild after the Arch's reign. As they worked tirelessly to repair the SCO-OL facilities and create a safer environment for everyone, Emma saw firsthand how much her students had accomplished. They were rebuilding not just buildings, but also their sense of belonging in this town. With each passing day, progress was made as more people came forward with evidence against the Arch's corruption. Local businesses and organizations stepped up to help, providing resources and expertise to the community. It wasn't long before the Arch's reign was officially over, thanks in part to Emma's students' unwavering commitment to justice. As Blackwater High re-emerged as a symbol of hope and resilience, Emma knew that her legacy would live on for generations to come. She had not only brought down one powerful criminal, but also inspired countless others to fight against injustice and corruption. Her lessons were clear. No matter how tough the road ahead may be, standing up for what is right can make all the difference. In the end, Blackwater High's story was a testament to the power of unity and determination in overcoming adversity. Emma had shown that even when faced with seemingly insurmountable challenges, it is possible to rise above them and create something beautiful and meaningful. And as she looked back on her journey, Emma knew that nothing could ever truly go away from Blackwater High or its people, for they were the true heroes of this story. Global outline. At Blackwater High, a gang of seniors led by Brad Coleman, the sheriff's son, drug and film school nurse Emma Rodriguez, thinking they've trapped her in a blackmail scheme. The corrupt local government had been involved in illegal activities for years, including money laundering, embezzlement, and corruption. This corruption extended to various industries, such as real estate development, construction, and pharmaceuticals. Emma's drug school provided students with exposure to the dark side of society through its curriculum that emphasized drugs and criminality. Many of her former classmates had gone on to become influential figures in their respective fields, including politicians, law enforcement officers, and business leaders who used their power and influence for personal gain instead of serving the community. The corruption scandal at Blackwater High was exposed when Emma's students uncovered evidence of illegal activities taking place within the school. They were initially hesitant to report it out of fear of retribution from the corrupt officials, but ultimately gathered enough information to expose the truth. After a thorough investigation, the police department launched an operation that resulted in the arrest of several high-ranking officials connected with the corruption ring at Blackwater High. The authorities uncovered a network involving various businesses and organizations involved in illegal activities, including money laundering, embezzlement, and drug trafficking. Emma's students played a crucial role in the investigation by providing valuable information to the police force. They provided details about the corrupt officials' financial transactions, suspicious business deals, and personal relationships with influential figures within the community. The arrest of these high-ranking officials was not an easy task for the authorities, as they were deeply ingrained into the local politics and had access to powerful networks. However, Emma's students remained steadfast in their commitment to exposing corruption and bringing those responsible to justice. Asterisk as the case against the corrupt officials continued, Emma realized that her actions could have far-reaching consequences not only within Blackwater High, but also for the entire community. She knew she couldn't continue down this path without taking action. Asterisk in a moment of inspiration, Emma decided to lead a fundraising campaign for a local charity organization that provided support and resources to victims of crime and abuse. Her students were eager to join her in making a difference and inspired others to do the same. Asterisk the campaign quickly gained momentum as individuals from all walks of life came together to donate money and provide physical assistance to those affected by the corruption scandal. Emma's message resonated with many, highlighting the importance of standing up for what is right and fighting against injustice in any form. Asterisk with the support of her students, Emma was able to secure funding from various sources, including local businesses, Founda, tie-ins, and individuals who were passionate about making a positive impact on their community. This financial assistance allowed the charity organization to provide essential services such as counseling, education programs, legal aid, and job training for victims of crime. Asterisk the fundraising campaign not only provided much-needed resources, but also served as a powerful symbol of hope in an otherwise bleak landscape. It demonstrated that even amidst adversity and corruption, there is always potential for positive change and redemption. Asterisk as the charity organization continued to grow, Emma's students played a crucial role in mentoring and guiding its initiatives. They shared their expertise and skills with the organization, helping it develop programs and services tailored specifically to support victims of crime and abuse. Asterisk the success of the fundraising campaign not only brought hope to those affected by the corruption scandal, but also inspired others who were inspired by Emma's actions. Many individuals became motivated to take action against injustice in their own communities, leading to a chain reaction that spread far beyond Blackwater High. Asterisk in the aftermath of the corruption scandal at Blackwater High, local businesses and organizations came together once again to help support the community. They provided resources such as training for law enforcement officers, equipment for emergency responders, and funding for disaster relief efforts. Asterisk Emma's students had a significant impact on this new chapter in Blackwater High's history. They not only helped expose corruption, but also inspired others to take action against injustice by sharing their experiences with the community and demonstrating that hope and resilience can overcome even the darkest of circumstances. Asterisk as the months passed, Blackwater High continued to thrive under Emma's leadership. The school became a beacon of hope for many who had been affected by the corruption scandal, providing an environment where students could learn valuable skills, make meaningful connections with others, and pursue their dreams while fighting against injustice. Asterisk in a final act of determination, Emma decided to take her message of justice to the wider community. She formed a nonprofit organization called Blackwater High's Justice Foundation that focused on providing education, legal assistance, and support for victims of crime and abuse across various sectors. Asterisk the foundation was born out of the need for transparency in government institutions and the importance of creating safe spaces where individuals could seek help when they are facing challenges. Emma knew that her legacy would continue to live on through this new organization, as she continued to inspire others to fight against injustice and work towards a brighter future. Asterisk the Foundation's mission is to empower victims of crime and abuse by providing them with the resources they need to rebuild their lives and start anew. They collaborate with local businesses, schools, government agencies, and community organizations to provide comprehensive support that addresses not only immediate needs, but also long-term solutions for those affected by injustice. Emma has dedicated her life to creating a safe haven where individuals can find solace in the face of adversity and begin their journey towards healing. Her commitment to justice and resilience serves as an inspiration for generations, reminding us that even when faced with seemingly insurmountable challenges, it is possible to rise above them and create something beautiful and meaningful. As Blackwater High continues to evolve into a beacon of hope, Emma's legacy lives on in the faces of its students, faculty members, community partners, and countless individuals who have been touched by her dedication to justice and resilience. The school remains an inspiring example of what can be achieved when people come together to fight against injustice and work towards creating a better tomorrow. In conclusion, Emma's story is not just about the corrupt officials at Blackwater High, but also about the power of unity and determination in overcoming adversity. Her unwavering commitment to justice and her students' bravery in exposing corruption led to the downfall of powerful forces within local politics. Through their fundraising campaign, she inspired others to take action against injustice, leading to a chain reaction that spread far beyond Blackwater High. As Emma continues on this journey towards creating lasting change, we can only hope that her message of justice will continue to resonate with future generations and inspire them to fight for what is right in their own communities. Her legacy lives on as the true heroes of Blackwater High's story, a shining beacon of hope amidst darkness and adversity. In conclusion, Emma's story serves as an inspiration to all who seek justice and resilience in their lives. It reminds us that even when faced with seemingly insurmountable challenges, it is possible to rise above them and create something beautiful and meaningful by standing up for what is right, working together towards a common goal, and never giving up on the hope of a brighter tomorrow. Her legacy will continue to inspire generations to fight against injustice and work towards building a better world for all. In the bustling city of Blackwater High, a group of seniors led by Brad Coleman, the sheriff's son, was embroiled in a dark conspiracy. The community had been suffering under the reigns of powerful forces that sought to control and exploit its citizens for their own gain. As Emma Rodriguez, a nurse at Blackwater High's renowned film school, continued her investigation into the corruption that had infiltrated the local politics, she discovered that these forces were not only involved in drug trafficking, but also in a more sinister plan. She uncovered evidence of a secret funding campaign being conducted by influential figures within the town, aimed at intimidating and silencing anyone who dared to speak out against their agenda. Emma's dedication to exposing the truth led her to team up with fellow activists and community members, determined to put an end to this injustice. They formed alliances with local police departments and government officials, using their collective resources and expertise to unravel the mystery behind the secret funding campaign. Their efforts proved successful in uncovering a web of corruption that spanned multiple layers within Blackwater High society. The investigation led them to a powerful politician who had been secretly involved in the drug trafficking operation for years. This individual was not only responsible for the criminal activities, but also used his influence and connections to manipulate and silence anyone who dared to challenge their authority. As Emma delved deeper into the scandal, she discovered that this political figure's actions were far more than just illegal money laundering. He had a secret agenda of consolidating power within Blackwater High and creating an environment where dissent was discouraged at all costs. The politician knew that silencing anyone who dared to speak out would have long-lasting consequences for his own family and the community, making it impossible for them to ever come back on top. With the help of her trusted allies, Emma exposed this corrupt politician's illegal activities in a dramatic public rally, drawing attention to their nefarious actions. The rally was attended by prominent figures from various industries, including local business owners, politicians, and law enforcement officials. It was an emotional night for many as they held hands together in solidarity and demanded justice for the victims of the drug trafficking operation. The rally's aftermath sparked a chain reaction of activism across Blackwater High and beyond. People came forward with their own stories about corruption within the community, sharing evidence that exposed the politician's illegal activities to the public. The news quickly spread through social media, leading to widespread outrage and calls for accountability from those responsible. As the government agencies investigated the allegations against the corrupt politician, they uncovered a web of interconnected crimes connected to drug trafficking and money laundering. It was discovered that this politician had been involved in multiple criminal enterprises, including extortion, fraud, and embezzlement, all designed to enrich himself at the expense of his constituents' well-being. The scandal not only exposed the corruption within Blackwater High, but also shed light on wider issues of inequality and injustice faced by marginalized communities. The political figure's actions had left many without a voice in their own lives, and had fueled an atmosphere where fear, oppression, and discrimination were rampant. Emma's relentless pursuit of justice resonated with people all over the town, inspiring them to take action against their own corrupt leaders and demand accountability from those responsible for the harm they cause. The rally was not just about exposing the politician's actions, but also creating a space for dialogue and collaboration between different groups within Blackwater High. The community came together in small groups and workshops, discussing strategies on how to combat corruption and promote social justice. They learned about the power of collective action, the importance of empathy, and the need to hold those who abuse their authority accountable. As the scandal continued to unfold, Emma and her team worked tirelessly to build a network of allies across Blackwater High, engaging with community leaders, business owners, and law enforcement officials to amplify their message. They organized rallies, workshops, and educational programs that educated people about the dangers of corruption and provided them with tools for combating it. Despite the challenges they faced, Emma's determination and perseverance led her to secure a groundbreaking settlement agreement between Blackwater High and the corrupt politician. The deal resulted in the closure of several criminal enterprises connected to drug trafficking and money laundering, leading to significant financial penalties and the rehabilitation of former gang members. The scandal not only brought about justice for victims, but also provided an opportunity for healing and reconciliation within the community. People came together to support those who had been affected by the politician's actions, recognizing their own humanity and vulnerability despite his corrupt intentions. Emma's legacy as a detective and activist continues to inspire people all over Blackwater High and beyond. Her unwavering commitment to justice, resilience, and perseverance in the face of adversity serves as an example for generations to come. She has become known not only for her bravery, but also for her ability to bring about positive change through activism and dialogue. The town's residents continue to celebrate Emma Rodriguez's achievements and honor her memory by holding annual events that shine a light on their own resilience, perseverance, and commitment towards justice. These celebrations serve as reminders of the impact her actions had not only within Blackwater High, but also in shaping the lives of countless individuals who have been touched by her unwavering dedication to fighting for what is right. In conclusion, Emma's story serves as a testament to the power of resilience, courage, and determination when faced with adversity. It reminds us that even in the darkest moments, there is always hope, and that together we can create something beautiful and meaningful through our collective efforts towards justice, progress, and creating a better world for all. Oh, Brad Coleman, Emma Rodriguez. Oh, Leah Base. Oh, oh, oh. Brad Coleman, Emma Rodriguez. Emma, Emma, Emma. Emma's Promise, Leah Base. The Emma's Legacy Project, Emma. Leah Base. Emma. Emma, oh Emma. Leah Base. Emma. Emma's Promise. Emma's Promise. Emma. Brad Coleman. Emma. Emma's Promise, Brad Coleman, Emma's Legacy Award. Emma's Promise. Brad Coleman, Emma. Emma. Emma's Promise. Emma. Brad Coleman, Emma. Emma. Emma's Promise. Emma. Emma Rodriguez. Emma's Promise, Emma. Brad Coleman. Global Outline. Asterisk at Blackwater High. A gang of seniors led by Brad Coleman, the sheriff's son, drug and film school nurse Emma Rodriguez, believing they've trapped her in a blackmail scheme. The story begins with Emma Rodriguez as an accomplished medical professional at the prestigious Blackwater High School. As she watches over students during class and lectures on complex health conditions, she is aware of the tensions simmering beneath the surface, particularly among her peers who share a close-knit group called the Outcasts. This secret society consists of underclass members who often struggle with mental health issues, including depression, anxiety, and addiction. They are known for their rebellious behavior and tendency to seek attention from authority figures. Emma's dedication to fighting against this subculture is evident in H. Her unwavering commitment to helping students struggling with these challenges while maintaining a professional demeanor. As the school counselor at Blackwater High, she takes on the role of not only providing emotional support, but also teaching essential life skills and coping mechanisms that can help them overcome their struggles. One day, an anonymous email lands in Emma's inbox containing sensitive information about her personal life, including details about a secret underground drug ring run by one of the outcasts. Intrigued, she delves deeper into the matter to uncover the truth behind these allegations and understand why they have reached this level of prominence within Blackwater High. With this newfound knowledge, Emma becomes determined to expose the criminal activities and bring justice to those who are victims of abuse and exploitation under the outcast's leadership. Her actions soon catch the attention of Brad Coleman, the sheriff's son, who is appointed as her mentor and confidant during a particularly challenging time for Blackwater High. As they begin unraveling the truth about the outcasts, Emma discovers that the ring was involved in a heinous act of sexual assault against several high school girls, leaving them with traumatic memories and emotional scars. This revelation not only impacts their lives, but also challenges her personal beliefs about justice and morality within Blackwater High. Recognizing the gravity of the situation, Brad Coleman becomes obsessed with bringing down the outcasts and exposing their crimes to the wider community. He enlists Emma's help in gathering evidence, organizing a press conference, and coordinating a series of high-profile arrests, all while maintaining his position as sheriff and ensuring the safety of Blackwater High. Along the way, Brad confronts personal demons from his past and finds himself torn between his loyalty to law enforcement and his commitment to justice. Emma struggles with her own feelings about their relationship and whether she can trust him despite his connection to the outcasts. As tensions escalate within Blackwater High and public opinion begins to shift against the criminal organization, Emma becomes a target for assassination attempts and threats. She must rely on her resilience, intelligence, and wit to navigate these dangerous situations while staying one step ahead of those who would stop at nothing to silence her voice. As Emma's investigation deepens into the Outcasts' operations, she uncovers hidden alliances within the school hierarchy, revealing a web of corruption that goes all the way up to the top. She discovers that members of the high school faculty and administration are involved in various criminal activities, including drug trafficking, money laundering, and even human rights abuses. This revelation not only exposes the dark side of Blackwater High, but also raises questions about the role of authority figures in safeguarding students' lives while enabling their subculture. Emma's relentless pursuit of justice challenges traditional notions of school leadership and highlights the importance of standing up against injustice at any cost. With each step closer to exposing the outcasts, Emma faces numerous obstacles, including threats from rival gangs, internal conflicts within her own department, and personal sacrifices that test both her physical and emotional resilience. She is driven by a deep sense of purpose, knowing that her actions will not only bring closure for the victims, but also serve as an inspiration to others who are facing similar challenges. The climax of Emma's journey comes when she confronts Brad Coleman in a high-stakes showdown at Blackwater High. This confrontation brings together all factions involved in the Outcasts' operations and serves as a turning point, revealing that their secret lives are far from hidden or insulated from the broader community. In this intense encounter, Emma reveals the truth about the Outcasts' criminal activities to Brad and forces him to confront his own demons, ultimately leading to the dismantling of their organization. As justice is served, Blackwater High reaps its rewards in a sense, with not only the closure of one of the most notorious drug rings, but also a renewed sense of hope for the students who have been impacted by the Outcasts' actions. Emma's dedication and unwavering commitment to fighting against injustice become an inspiration to those around her, serving as a testament to the power of resilience in overcoming adversity. In conclusion, Blackwater High serves not just as a school, but also as a metaphor for the human condition, where darkness lurks beneath seemingly ordinary lives, waiting for someone with courage and determination to uncover its truth. Emma's story is a powerful reminder that even when faced with insurmountable odds, individuals can rise above adversity and use their voices to create change, ultimately leading to a better world for all. Through her unwavering commitment to justice and the relentless pursuit of those who have been wronged, Emma becomes an iconic figure in the fight against corruption and oppression, leaving a lasting legacy that will inspire generations to come. Blackwater High. As the dust settled on a successful drug bust at Blackwater High, justice was finally served. The school's top brass had dismantled one of the most notorious crime rings in the city under the watchful eye of Sheriff Coleman and his son, Emma Rodriguez. The once vibrant community now knew that they had successfully brought down the gang leaders responsible for a string of high-profile drug trafficking cases. Among their victims were several prominent figures within local politics, law enforcement agencies, and even celebrities who had been victimized by the Outcasts' ruthless tactics. Emma, on the other hand, felt an immense sense of pride in her role as a school nurse and the community leader when she witnessed firsthand the impact that the Outcasts' actions had on not only those directly affected, but also the broader society. She knew that justice had been served and that Blackwater High would no longer be synonymous with crime and corruption. The news spread quickly, and soon Emma became an overnight sensation, receiving numerous accolades for her bravery and dedication in bringing down the outcast's reign of terror at Blackwater High. Her unwavering commitment to fighting against injustice inspired a new generation of students who had been impacted by the school's reputation as a breeding ground for criminal activity. As news coverage continued to focus on Emma, she began to receive more recognition beyond her local community. She was invited to speak at various conferences and events across the country, sharing her story with others who shared their experiences working alongside the outcasts. Her message resonated deeply, inspiring people from all walks of life to believe that even in a world filled with darkness and adversity, it is possible for individuals to rise above the fray and use their voices to create positive change. Emma's journey as a community leader was not without its challenges. She faced numerous obstacles along the way, including resistance from some within her own department and criticism from those who believed that her efforts were misguided or unnecessary given the school's already reputation. However, Emma remained steadfast in her commitment to justice, using these setbacks as opportunities for growth and learning. As she continued to speak at conferences and meet with individuals from all over the country, Emma began to build relationships with a number of influential figures who shared her vision for a better future. These connections provided her with valuable resources that helped her push forward in her efforts to dismantle the outcasts' operations once and for all. One such figure was David Martinez, a former member of the outcasts who had been brought down by Emma's investigation. Despite his initial resistance to the allegations against him, David eventually came around and agreed to testify on behalf of Blackwater High at a court hearing in New York City. This dramatic turn of events not only helped shed light on the criminal activities taking place within the school, but also provided Emma with an opportunity to build a strong legal case against the outcasts. With David's testimony as evidence, Emma was able to secure a guilty verdict for multiple members of the outcasts in court, leading to their eventual arrest and conviction. This stunning victory not only brought closure to Blackwater High's victims, but also served as a powerful reminder that justice can be achieved through the legal system when individuals are willing to fight against corruption and oppression. As Emma basked in her newfound status as a hero and advocate for change, she knew that there was still much work to do. The outcasts' reign of terror at Blackwater High had left its mark on the community, with many residents feeling disillusioned and disheartened by their experiences. As such, Emma remained committed to rebuilding trust in her school's reputation as a safe haven for students. In order to achieve this goal, she began working closely with local organizations that served underprivileged communities, providing them with resources and support to help rebuild their lives after the traumatic events of the outcasts' reign. This included offering counseling services, job training programs, and educational opportunities tailored specifically for those affected by the school's actions. One particular initiative Emma spearheaded was a community garden project within Blackwater High, which not only provided students with an opportunity to reconnect with nature, but also served as a social space for them to come together, build relationships, and discuss their experiences. Through this program, Emma emphasized the importance of cultivating healthy environments in schools that foster resilience, empathy, and understanding. The Community Garden Project quickly gained traction, attracting volunteers from all over the city who wanted to help make Blackwater High more inclusive and welcoming. Together, they worked tirelessly to create a space where students could grow their own food, learn about gardening practices, and connect with others who shared similar interests. As Emma's efforts continued to bring together individuals from diverse backgrounds, she realized that it was not enough just to rebuild the school's reputation as a safe haven for students. She also needed to address the underlying issues that had contributed to the outcasts' rise in power within Blackwater High and work towards creating lasting change. One of these areas of focus was education reform. Emma understood that schools were key institutions where young people were first exposed to justice, empathy, and understanding, and she knew that a strong educational system could help break the cycle of criminal activity and provide students with the tools they needed to succeed in life. To achieve this goal, Emma worked closely with local educators, policymakers, and community leaders to advocate for changes at all levels of government. This included pushing for increased funding for schools, reforming standardized testing practices, and promoting alternative forms of assessment that placed more emphasis on critical thinking, problem-solving, and collaboration. Through her tireless efforts, Emma was able to secure a number of policy initiatives that aimed to address the root causes of criminal activity within Blackwater High. This included the implementation of new drug policies that focused on prevention and rehabilitation rather than punishment, as well as reforms to the school's curriculum and teacher training programs. One particularly significant initiative was the creation of an after-school program called the Outcasts Promise, which aimed to provide students with a safe space where they could continue their education while also dealing with the challenges associated with criminal activity. The program offered tutoring, mentoring, and counseling services, as well as educational opportunities that focused on topics such as conflict resolution, problem-solving, and career development. Over time, the Outcasts Promise became an integral part of Blackwater High's community life, providing a lifeline for students who were struggling with the effects of the outcasts' activities. As Emma watched these young people grow from timid to confident, she knew that her work had not only brought closure but also created a brighter future for them and their families. In conclusion, as justice was served in Blackwater High, the town became a symbol of resilience against corruption and oppression, with its residents coming together to rebuild trust and create lasting change. Emma's unwavering commitment to fighting against injustice inspired a new generation of students who had been impacted by the outcasts' actions, becoming leaders not just within their own school, but also in their communities across the country. Through her tireless efforts as a community leader and advocate for change, Emma left behind a lasting legacy that would inspire generations to come. Her story serves as a reminder that even when faced with seemingly insurmountable odds, individuals can rise above adversity and use their voice to create positive change, ultimately leading to a better world for all. In the small town of Blackwater High, nestled in a picturesque valley surrounded by lush forests and rolling hills, life was generally peaceful. The community had been thriving since its founding over 2 decades ago, with schools like Blackwater High serving as a beacon for students who were struggling to navigate the harsh realities of urban adolescence. As Emma Rodriguez sat at her desk, working tirelessly to support both local high school students and their families, she couldn't help but feel a sense of pride in the town's resilience and unwavering commitment to providing a safe haven for its residents. Emma had grown up watching the Outcasts, a notorious gang that operated within Blackwater High. These boys were known for their drug dealing, violence, and corruption, leaving a trail of destruction wherever they went. But despite their darkest days, the townspeople refused to give in to despair or accept defeat. They banded together as one community, uniting around a shared goal, to bring an end to the outcasts' reign of terror and restore peace within Blackwater High. As Emma began her work at Blackwater High, she quickly realized that ending their influence would not be easy. The gang was highly organized and had infiltrated the local police department, using its members as informants and agents to carry out illegal activities undetected. But even with this formidable obstacle in place, Emma refused to back down. She knew firsthand how devastating it could be for students when they saw their peers being targeted by these violent gangsters. As she began to investigate the outcasts' operations, Emma discovered a web of corruption and deceit that went all the way up to the top levels of Blackwater High's administration. It was clear from the start that no one wanted to see this group behind bars, as it threatened not only their own livelihoods, but also the future prosperity of the town. Despite these daunting challenges, Emma remained undeterred by the odds. She worked tirelessly alongside other community members and local law enforcement officials, gathering evidence against the outcast leaders and bringing them to justice for their crimes. As she uncovered more information about their criminal activities, Emma found herself drawn into a dangerous game of cat and mouse as the outsiders tried to maintain control over the town's affairs. Throughout her work at Blackwater High, Emma faced countless obstacles that tested both her physical and mental strength. She was often called upon to infiltrate secret meetings with gang leaders or stand guard in high-pressure situations where danger lurked around every corner. But no matter how tough it got, Emma remained steadfast in her commitment to justice and never let fear hold her back. As the trial for the outsiders came to a close, Emma's efforts paid off when they were found guilty of all charges. For many residents of Blackwater High, this was not just another case of a gang getting punished. It represented a turning point in their struggle against oppression and corruption. They watched as justice was served, with the outcast leaders being taken into custody for the first time since their inception. In that moment, Emma knew that her work had truly made a difference. She had brought an end to the outsiders' reign of terror and restored peace within Blackwater High's community. For years to come, she would be remembered as the girl who stood up against injustice, using her voice to inspire others to fight for what was right and never give in to fear or despair. But perhaps even more importantly, Emma had made a lasting impact on those students who watched her work from afar. She had shown them that no matter how daunting their challenges may seem, they could rise above adversity and use their own unique talents and skills to make positive change. Her legacy would continue to inspire generations of young people to come, guiding them down the path towards a brighter future filled with hope, courage, and justice. As Emma stood at the edge of Blackwater High's courtroom, surrounded by the faces of her colleagues and family members who had supported her throughout her journey, she felt grateful for everything that this incredible community had done for her. She knew that her work was far from over, but with each passing day, she felt a renewed sense of purpose and determination to continue fighting against injustice, ensuring that Blackwater High's residents would always live in the safety and prosperity they deserved. And so, as Emma walked out into the sunshine after what had been a long and difficult trial for her community, she knew that she was more than just an ordinary high school teacher. She was a beacon of hope for all those who sought to build a better future. She would continue to be called upon to stand up against injustice, using her voice to inspire others and create lasting change in the world around her, forever ensuring that Blackwater High's residents were free from fear and oppression, and that their lives had been lived with dignity and pride. As she walked away into the sunset over the rolling hills of Blackwater High, Emma felt a sense of satisfaction knowing that she had fulfilled one of the most important responsibilities in the world, to protect her community and ensure its continued prosperity. And as she looked out at the picturesque town she once knew so well, she knew that no matter what challenges lay ahead, she would always be ready for whatever came next, with hope and courage by her side, ensuring that Blackwater High's residents could live their lives free from fear and oppression, a shining example of resilience and strength in the face of adversity. At Blackwater High, a gang of seniors led by Brad Coleman, the sheriff's son, drug and film school nurse Emma Rodriguez, thinking they've trapped her in a blackmail scheme. The tension inside the high school classroom was palpable as Brad sat at his desk, gazing into a stack of textbooks before turning to confront Emma. "You think you can just take me down like that?" she asked with a hint of defiance in her voice, looking up from her notes and studying Brad's face. "I am not taking anything down," he replied calmly. "I have no intention of doing so." Emma raised an eyebrow at his nonchalant attitude, but she couldn't help feeling suspicious about the reason behind their meeting. She had heard rumors that there was a secret scandal brewing within Blackwater High, and Brad seemed to be involved in some way. As they continued discussing the matter, Emma tried her best to remain calm and collected, focusing on the facts at hand. But as she listened intently to Brad's arguments about his innocence, she couldn't help but feel uneasy. He had always been a quiet and reclusive individual, preferring to keep things under wraps rather than speak out in public. "Brad, you know that I'm not the one who's framing you," Emma said finally, trying to put an end to their argument. "But we need to figure out what really happened." "I am innocent of any wrongdoing," he replied firmly. "I have always been a straight shooter and did everything in my power to protect Blackwater High from harm." He paused for a moment before continuing, his voice lowering as if trying to keep her at bay. "But that doesn't mean you didn't do it on someone else's behalf," Emma said, raising an eyebrow. "There are whispers of corruption within the school, and there were people who had their hands in the dark." Brad's eyes widened with disbelief. "That was not possible," he replied. "I have no knowledge or involvement in any wrongdoing at Blackwater High. I know that everyone here is loyal to me and my family, and they would never do anything to harm anyone else." Emma shook her head, frustration building inside her as she tried to understand his perspective. The evidence seemed stacked against him, but Brad refused to back down. "I'm afraid we'll need more information before we can make a decision," Emma said, looking around the room at her colleagues and other students who might have had knowledge of the situation. "Perhaps there's someone else involved in this cover-up, or maybe something is just not as straightforward as you think." As they discussed their options, Brad seemed to be growing more and more tense. He knew that he was up against a strong opponent, but he refused to give up. "I'll do whatever it takes to clear my name," he said finally, his voice low and resolute. "I won't let anyone bring down Blackwater High or tarnish the reputation of those who have worked hard here for generations." Emma nodded in agreement, her mind already working through a plan to gather more evidence against Brad's possible involvement in the scandal. They would need to speak with other students, faculty members, and even parents within the school if necessary. But as they stood there at their desks discussing the matter, Emma couldn't help but feel uneasy about what lay ahead. She knew that they were putting themselves and Blackwater High on a dangerous path, one that could have serious consequences for those involved if not handled properly. In the end, it was Brad who stepped up to take charge of the situation. He gathered his team and formed an investigation into the allegations made by Emma and other students within Blackwater High. They spent weeks gathering information, interviewing witnesses, and examining documents, all in search of a solid case against Brad's involvement in the corruption. The outcome was not easy for them, as they had to navigate through several layers of red tape and political interference. But with their determination and hard work, they were able to piece together a compelling picture that suggested Brad was indeed involved in some form of wrongdoing. In a dramatic turn of events, Brad's trial became the center of attention, drawing national media coverage and sparking heated debates about corruption within Blackwater High. The scandal had not only exposed his guilt, but also raised questions about the school's leadership and governance, with many calling for reform and accountability. As the trial drew to a close, Brad was found guilty on all charges, serving a life sentence in prison. Emma, now regarded as a hero by her peers, continued to serve as an advocate for education and social justice, using her platform to shine a light on issues like race inequality, gender equality, and environmental degradation. The legacy of Blackwater High's scandal had not only brought Brad down, but also paved the way for change within the school. Emma and her team had shown that even in the darkest of moments, hope can triumph over fear and injustice, leading to a brighter future for all those who live there. And as they looked out at their hometown from prison cells, she knew that no matter what challenges lay ahead, they would always be ready for whatever came next, with courage, resilience, and dedication at the forefront of their efforts. Stop at Blackwater High. A gang of seniors led by Brad Coleman, the sheriff's son, drug and film school nurse Emma Rodriguez, thinking they've trapped her in a blackmail scheme. The scandal had not only exposed his guilt, but also raised questions about the school's leadership and governance, with many calling for reform and accountability. As the trial drew to a close, Brad was found guilty on all charges, serving a life sentence in prison. Emma, now regarded as a hero by her peers, continued to serve as an advocate for education and social justice, using her platform to shine a light on issues like race inequality, gender equality, and environmental degradation. The legacy of Blackwater High's scandal had not only brought Brad down, but also paved the way for change within the school. Emma and her team had shown that even in the darkest of moments, hope can triumph over fear and injustice, leading to a brighter future for all those who live there. At the same time, the town of Blackwater was grappling with its own issues related to corruption, poverty, and inequality. The school's principal, Sarah Iqbal, had been accused of embezzlement and mismanagement, but she maintained her innocence throughout the trial. As Emma and her team dug deeper into the allegations, they discovered that a series of secret recordings suggested that Sarah was involved in a criminal organization with several former students from Blackwater High. The revelation not only shocked the community, but also forced them to confront their own prejudices and biases against women, people of color, and those who had struggled under privileged conditions. The school's administration launched an investigation into Sarah and her colleagues, leading to a series of interrogations, searches for evidence, and interviews with former students. As the trial progressed, Emma realized that the scandal at Blackwater High was just one chapter in a much larger story of inequality and injustice in their town. She knew that she had to take action before it was too late. With support from community leaders, Sarah's supporters, and dedicated law enforcement, they launched an advocacy campaign to raise awareness about the issues facing Blackwater Heights. The hashtag Blackwater High Rebellion hashtag gained traction on social media, inspiring people across the country to share they are stories of hope, resilience, and justice.